Welcome, everybody, to the second episode of MANDOMANIA, brother. It's running wild and rampant all over the internet, all over the interwebs. Everybody is talking about the Mandalorian, and we're not going to be any different, but we are going to be better because this is the NFO review show. The New Force Order talks about Mandalorian Episode 2, a.k.a. The Child. I am GGP, a.k.a. Greek God Papadon. Alongside with me, no, it's not two Transdoshians, even though Doc was considered a trans from time on nights during his college years. But who are you, boys? Let them know who you guys are.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know who I am by now, you shouldn't even be watching us. But I am the Dark Lord of the podcast, the Sith Ari, the Rampaging Remicus, the Butcher, your boy Spiro, aka Darth Spiridon.
And I am smarter than 21B, more technical than FX7, the god of stealing thunder, and a Mandalorian at heart. Dr. Destroyo, Alex Arroyo.
Well, boys, it's late. It's Friday night. Second episode dropped today. In one word, sum up what you thought of the episode real quick.
Filler.
Oh, man. Yo, he stole my fucking thunder this time.
Oh, yeah.
Filler,
Dude,
you both said?
He's batting 1,000 here, bro. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. I felt the same. I did enjoy it. There were moments that I really liked. There were things in there, some little clues as to where I think they're going. I have a few theories I want to share with you guys, but it felt more like filler. In my opinion, it's I not really the way I would have gone for the second episode in, but it was a pretty good episode nonetheless, man.
Doc?
I agree. I mean, it did feel like one of those episodes that the things that happen here aren't going to really change the things that are going to happen in the future. So, I mean, a famous comic book writer said once, if you write an issue or you write an arc, it has to change the character at the end of the story, for better, for worse, for bad, or for good. But this didn't seem like it was going to change very, very much. Yeah, we saw a few things that are going to kind of key into the rest of the season here and there, but for the most part, this kind of it was like that side mission that you do in a video game. You don't need to do it for the main story, but you do it for whatever bonus points or just for fun. And I think that's what kind of this episode was today.
Okay, well, I have to agree with you in some ways. I loved the episode. I thought the episode was great. Couple things I didn't like about it, but that's just me. But overall, I think if the first episode was a home run, this was definitely a triple, in my opinion.
All right.
Did you guys agree?
Listen, I didn't say I didn't like it. I did like it.
No, I'm not saying you didn't.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is, can't hit. I mean, obviously the first one you gotta set the tone.
Yeah,
this
100%.
one is the follow up. You
Absolutely.
go up, you go down, you go up, you go down. It's a roller coaster ride.
But I agree with Spiro. I don't think they should have thrown in like a filler type episode as the second.
It's too soon for that. It's too soon.
Here's a couple of things that I've heard on this quote unquote interwebs in the Star Wars community that kind of made me go, oh. You notice how they're not labeled episodes; they're chapters, like in a book. Some chapters are longer; longer than others, and for a reason. So that was the analogy someone gave that I heard today, and I went, "Oh, that's interesting," because the first two episodes were only like a half hour each,
39 minutes, 32 minutes.
And so that means there's 6 episodes left. We're a quarter of the way there, and if they're all going to be half hours, I think people are going to be disappointed. But I think some of the episodes may be even longer. They might be an hour, maybe an hour 15, and those might be the really important ones. This episode was directed by the director who did Dope. What's his name? Rick Fujiwa or whatever his name is. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing the name. I don't have it in front of me.
I believe it's a Fujiwara Armbar.
Fujiwara Armbar, yes. Made famous by Chris Jericho on his list of many holds back in WCW day. But
only second to the three-handle family Gradunza.
I forgot about that. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's why he gets all the bubbly. Ah, here he goes. Rick Famuyiga? No. Famuyiwa. Famuyiwa? I don't know. Sorry.
Wawawiwa.
Wawawiwa, baby. That's nice. But let's see. Episode starts off. You guys want to go down memory lane and go play by play? How you guys want to do this?
Let's do that, yeah.
All right, so it starts off, and what do we see? We see the gunslinger walking. His theme hits, which is fantastic, by Ludwig, whatever the last guy's name is. No, it's not Ludwig Borga. Nice try though. And he's walking around with the baby. The thing's floating, so obviously it answers your question. I think it's technology, that crib. I don't think it's.
It is actually. It is. Yeah, it's tech. He controlled it through his
his
wristband,
wrist garment
or something. Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Ludwig Göransson. He's also the guy who did the.
I was close.
Yeah, you were close. He was a composer for. What was it? He won an Emmy for it. I mean, an Oscar for it. Oh, Black Panther. But anyhow. Yeah, so they're walking through the canyons, the desert, whatever, the plateau, and they get attacked by Transdoshans. 3 of them. Guy lays a smackdown on all 3. Disintegrates 3 of them.
He either incinerates him or disintegrates him. It can't be both.
Can't do
together.
both,
yeah.
Yeah, well, it's a little Papadonism right there, a little GGPism. And,
but would be really interesting to see somebody be in between both, man. I think that would be some fucked up shit right there.
Well, here's the deal. That kind of adds to Darth Vader telling Boba Fett, no disintegrations. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So if that's the case, and Aunt Peru and Uncle Owen were burned, but their bodies were still there, the skeletons, we saw the remains, they weren't dust. So that means, did he use a flamethrower on them? Because he didn't disintegrate them.
That's a flamethrower then.
It has to be the flamethrower if he was the guy who went to Tatooine to kill him.
Yeah.
Which I think he was. But that's just me. So he kicks the crap out of these guys. Lo and behold, he goes down to his ship. And who does he bump into? A bunch of hornswoggles with hoods on. And they jacked him for his ride, dude. They stole his rims.
It's like he parked his ship in the Bronx to go get a Popeye's chicken sandwich, and then all of a sudden, bam! I come back. I got no tires, no doors, no hood.
Yeah, they had sound cinder blocks. They took out the face of the radio. They took the club off the thing. Forget about it. And by the way, those Popeye chicken sandwiches are disgusting and they suck. Totally overrated.
Disagree. Move on.
Oh, we're gonna have a little bit of debate here, my friend. I had one yesterday, and it tasted like a regular chicken sandwich. Huh?
I'm a tenders guy.
We heard about that about you.
Yeah, that's what I didn't want to go there, but
it's my soft side, you know.
Yeah, you are the butcher.
Yeah,
I guess you pay by the pound, but
the pound.
So he tries to go after him. He shoots a couple of them, and this is my favorite part of the episode. This and later on, what it goes on with Baby Yoda, but they try to bounce, and he hops on the what's it called, the barrage or
their Sandcrawler.
Yeah, the Sandcrawler, and kind of reminded me of Indiana Jones.
That's exactly what the throwback was, 100%.
You know what I mean?
Almost beat by beat with the whole thing where he's coming through. It was, you could see the homage right then and there.
He reminded me of Batman in the Adam West days, man. He's going up the fucking side of it, you know?
Yeah.
That tiny ass fucking rope.
I'm gonna give you another little fucking tidbit. That part where he's climbing up the side of the thing and they're throwing things at him is actually a throwback to one of the Star Wars games for Super Nintendo.
Oh, really?
It was a level where
Which
he was
one?
like, I think it was Luke. I think it was Super Star Wars. He's crawling up the side of some building or something, and they're throwing shit at him as he's coming down.
Never played that one.
Yeah.
So I don't play games, so I don't have time for it, unfortunately. My last venture into video game land was Nintendo 64 wrestling games.
Bro, you know
For
what?
life.
For life. On that note, just in case anybody out there is wondering why there hasn't been a review done yet on Fallen Order, is because, like GGP said, man, there's just not enough time, not even for me, to sit my ass down, pick up a controller, and slice motherfuckers up to let you know what I think of the game. I haven't even purchased it yet. So
they should send it to us for a free game review.
Yeah.
Talk to EA. Is it EA Sports who makes it?
Yeah.
All right.
EA. They published it, or I don't know, man. Yeah, them though. Yeah. Anyways, the Mandalorian. Where are we now?
Crawling. He gets to the top of the Sandcrawler. You think he's gonna lay smack down again and get his stuff? They shoot him. They buck his ass.
Jacked.
Kapow! He goes flying off that thing and does a freaking mankind falling off the freaking Hell in a Cell dive, and he falls right onto the floor. Kapow!
Dude, I gotta say, man, and we'll get into it later on, because later on we really saw some serious fucking smackdown being laid. But this is a durable ass motherfucker. How much of it is attributed to him being a Mandalorian, and how much is attributed to his armor? Holy
I would say probably 50-50. I would have to imagine that armor, man, has to hold him up.
I gotta say though, he's the only guy in the whole Star Wars universe that we've ever seen get jobbed out by the Jawa.
Well, listen, bro.
That did happen.
There was a lot of them. If there was 1,000 Lord Littlebrooks, I think they'd probably take out on the Andre, no problem.
I'm just saying.
But but I popped. That won me over. That whole scene was so awesome.
Yeah, it was.
He comes out of his little I don't know, dream state, coma, whatever, his little CTE fantasy, and then goes and he bumps into his boy, the Ugnaught. What's his name? Quill. And then Quill's like, all right, man, we gotta, which is voiced by Nick Nolte. And then they go to try to barter with the Jawas, and the Jawas wanted his armor. He's like, no.
This shit led to my favorite line of the whole episode, man.
Which was
they wanted the weapons, right? Mm-hmm. He's like, I'm a Mandalorian. Weapons are part of my religion.
Yep.
I fucking popped, man.
Yeah, that was a good line.
I was like, I'm not a Mandalorian, but they're definitely part of mine too, man. Hey, straight up.
And then they decided that they want the Yoda, baby Yoda. And he says no. So then they said there has to be another option. And they want the egg. And I was like, the egg? What the hell's the egg? So lo and behold, they go to this cave. He goes in the cave. He fights that big rhinoceros thing. It looks like a single-horned reek from episode 2, right? Was it episode 2 that reek was in?
Yep.
And then gets the crap. Just the snot beat out of him. He ended up getting jobbed out hard by this thing. And lo and behold, who gets the hot tag? With my good hand. He uses the Force. Little baby Yoda saves the day. Dude, I popped huge.
Now, initially, I thought about it for a minute. When they said the egg, I'm like, are they referring to Baby Yoda as the egg? And then as they kept going and he approached this big cave, I'm like, oh shit, a fucking crate dragon egg maybe.
That's what I thought too.
Yep. Right? But no, it ended up being that thing, you know?
Yeah.
Because if it was a fucking crate dragon, man, they would both be dead and shit, man, you know?
Before I skipped a part before they went for the egg.
Sorry, I was doing the hand motion.
No, I thought you were going to say something. Go ahead, you say it.
I don't want to.
You haven't spoken too much. You were too busy playing with Hank McCoy's balls again.
Actually finished Hank McCoy. There he goes. Look at him. Not bad.
Oh, you put the jacket on him.
Man, look at his coat.
Anyway, so I'm assuming you're talking about the portion where he was injured and he was kind of cauterizing his wound, and Baby Yoda kept trying to come out and trying to help him with the Force, and he kept putting him back inside the crib.
Yeah.
I forgot about that part. Yeah.
So
another aspect of the Force that we haven't seen very, very much of in the main continuity is the healing aspect of the Force.
maybe we'll see it in 9. There's rumor about.
Wait a minute, real quick. One thing that I forgot about at the end of the first fight scene where he takes all those Trandoshans out and he sees that bounty thing.
Oh yeah, the homing beacon thing.
Yeah, I was thinking, was he contemplating on maybe taking out Baby Yoda for like about a second or not?
No, I didn't get that. I thought you know what? When I saw it, I said, "Oh, there's a bounty. That's a third beacon because he had the first one. Well, he had the first one from Grief, and then IG-88 was the second bounty hunter.
11.
I'm sorry, IG-11. Sorry, and then these dudes were the third I guess bounty hunters to go after this thing. So I don't know if it's 3 different people going after the bounty, or if it's 2 different people and they realize that IG-11 couldn't get the job done, or from what I heard, those 2 Trandoshans out of the 3 were in the background when they heard Grief give the order or the bounty to the Mandalorian, and they just eavesdropped and they, you know what I'm saying, try to steal it.
Yeah. I rewatched the first episode again today with my son, and I thought I saw them in the background.
Okay.
Did you see Boba Fett in the background at any time?
I saw that. I mean, I saw the still that they had.
There's a rumor that Boba Fett was in the background in one of the shots.
I could send you guys the photos, but when he walks right into when he gets the armor made, there's one portion where it's kind of like almost like that portrait mode where you see him well, but the background's a little bit blurred, and this Mandalorian kind of turns to him and looks at him a little bit, and the color scheme of the costume and the helmet looked a little bit like Boba Fett, a little bit, but I don't think it was enough.
I remember seeing something, but I didn't quite catch the colors and all that. But
I had to watch it for the third time to actually see that.
The reason why I thought that maybe he had contemplated was because he was still holding his rifle up. I wasn't sure if they were trying to tell us that he thought about it or what, but nah.
So
I don't think so.
This thing, he gives the thing the Reek a death blow with his knife. I know you were very fond of his knife, right?
Bible blade, yeah.
With the tiniest little knife in the world.
Yeah, right? You know what it reminded me of that scene? You guys ever see that Quentin Tarantino written film? It's with the dude from Gleaming the Cube, Christian Slater, and True Romance. True Romance. You guys ever see True Romance?
Yes.
Remember the part with James
I know of it.
James Gandolfini is beating up the hooker girlfriend in the hotel room looking for the suitcase, and then right before he's gonna do something, she holds up the corkscrew in desperation, and he's like, "Come on, baby, I'll give you one shot." And he sticks it in his foot, and then gets the best of him. That's what it reminded me, because he was just standing there with the thing out like this, with the knife. It kind of reminded me of that scene. Anyway, so they get the egg, they open up the egg, they start eating that thing like uncivilized freaking marks. It looked like they were eating a Cadbury egg, to be honest.
Like a bunch of white girls at brunch.
There we go.
You want to know what that scene made me think of immediately? Fucking Luke drinking that fucking green milk, That was the first thing. I mean,
kind of reminded me of Rocky drinking the eggs. It was yellow like those eggs, you know what I mean?
Let me tell you, man, I just felt like all this shit, man, just so that these motherfuckers can pop open this egg and drink this shit like a bunch of animals, man. It's like
I agree with you, but then he got all his parts back.
They bring
it back to the ship, and Yoda from using the Force was knocked out. Baby Yoda, anyway, we'll call it Baby Yoda, and he was out. And this is the only part of the episode I didn't like. They fixed the ship up. He asks the Ugnaught to give him half of his bounty. He goes, "I'll give you half of my reward. Why don't you come join me? I can use a crew member with your expertise." And the guy turned them down. He's like, "No, I worked all my life to get away from servitude. I don't want to be, working for anybody." "Okay, I understand. Thank you. Bye-bye." And he leaves. So this is the only part I don't like is it was very easy that they were able to fix the ship. And it made it seem like
Yeah.
They made it seem like it was done in a couple of hours. It probably took a couple of days, but it would have been better if they kind of like,
Showed the sun coming up, sun coming down.
Yeah, something like that, like 3 days later or whatever, on the bottom, or a week later, and Yoda was out for like a week, and then Yoda wakes up, and then when they're flying, and the episode ends.
See, you have to wonder about that. Is this just laziness, or does it come down to fucking the budget issue? Because I don't see John Favre or somebody else.
Rick Fuji Armbar.
Yeah, I don't see these guys doing something, having a creative misstep like that. No,
I know. Well, there's another thing. A lot of people are complaining about the planets not being named. Like all these new planets they're going to, like how in Rogue One they show the names.
Yeah.
So you know where they're going. They haven't done that in this in this series so far, and a lot of people are like, oh man, why can't they name the planets so we know where they're going?
Do you think it's important? I don't know.
I don't know either. But then if they're going to be available on Wikipedia, or you know what I'm saying, like just do it. This way it takes away the ammo from the haters. It's one less thing they can complain about. But Spiro, let me hear some of your theories. You were talking about the episode.
All right, so man, I was talking to my boy, a guy who has supplied me many times with awesome statues to photograph, awesome lightsabers, etc. Shout out to Jimmy Theodosiou. He actually texted me one of his
Irish
theories.
name, right?
Oh yeah, of course. Black Irish.
Yeah.
But he one of his theories, and I told him I was going to share this one, is that what if this is Yoda reborn?
Could be.
Do you think by the time that we get to The Force Awakens, to The Last Jedi, how old would he be?
Doing there, Doc? He would be 90 years old.
So remember,
still, he would be very young still, though.
Yeah, he'd be like a youngling. He'd be like 10 years old.
So that's not him then. It can't be him.
So they said he's 50 years old, right?
Yeah.
So if we track back that time, 50 years, that actually puts you at about episode 1.
Yep.
So Yoda was alive then, not Yoda reincarnated.
Well, here's a theory that someone told me, or not told me, said, and I heard that maybe Yoda and Yaddle got a little freaky one night, and that's why she had to leave the order, because she had a baby.
Wow. Could you imagine one of the Grand Jedi Masters breaking one of the tenements of the Jedi rule? Ooh.
I don't think it's going to happen.
Man.
I think the fandom would be very, very upset about that.
I agree.
They would lose their shit.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine that Yoda, Mr. fucking high and mighty, frowning upon everything that Anakin did, frowning down upon, Obi-Wan, and telling them, hey, keep your shit in your pants, blah, blah, blah. And for him to go and get freaky.
Hey, Yaddle likes Yoda. Yaddle likes Yoda's yam bag. You can't stop him.
When 900 years you are, horny you will get.
So that's what other theories you got, bud?
What are the chances? What are the chances that it's a creation through the Force?
I don't know.
Like an Anakin type of situation.
Yeah.
Well, here's a couple of things that I heard, but go on, Doc. Say what you're gonna say.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that this is a clone of Yoda.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say. The Doctor, who was with Werner Herzog, he had a Kamino Patch on his arm. So people are saying that he works on the island, the planet Kamino, which is known for the cloning. That's where the clones were made. Yep. So they're trying to piece all that stuff together and try to come up with some kind of analysis. I think if that's the case, it wouldn't have been so out in the open. I think the patch is a red herring, so everyone thinks it's a clone. That's just me. I don't know what this is, where it's from. Maybe like I said before, their species produce asexually, which means they don't need to be,
impregnated.
You're welcome. And maybe Yaddle had a baby. Maybe Yoda had a baby. Who knows? But the one thing that people are saying or talking about is that This thing never had any training. It's an infant. Even though it's 50 years old, it's still an infant. So how the hell does it know to use the Force? Just like Rey in episode 7 didn't have any training. So now they're saying, oh, you don't need training to use the Force. You need training to be a Jedi. And that makes perfect sense because let's look what we got, right? We have the little baby lifting a reek. Who knows if it's been trained or been talked to by its species, but he uses the Force. Does he have knowledge of the Force as an infant? Who knows? Look at Rey using the Jedi mind trick and all this stuff. Well, that people say Kylo infiltrated her mind with the Force, and she was able to absorb his powers, and he was able to see in her mind, she was able to see in his mind. So whatever he knew, she downloaded, like in the Matrix. That's why she was able to use the Jedi mind trick, and allegedly she heard about it in passing. Okay? Now, what about Broom Boy? He used the Force to move that broom. He's never been trained, right? So little tidbits here and there are starting to show that you don't need to be a Jedi to use the Force.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So
right.
But
no, absolutely, man. You know, listen, man. I agree with you. I don't think you need training to use the Force. I mean, I think whoever is Force sensitive, and of course, different people have a different aptitude for it. Some might actually pick something up as they go along, but in order to probably fully harness it and control it, they might need some help with that.
Yep.
But yeah, if you want to go into the Jedi Order, of course they're going to train you. But the thing I want to know is about Baby Yoda is so he's 50, he's a baby, but he can walk, and he seems to have a comprehension of somebody that's older than an infant. So it's like, is his aging process physical? Is it only a physical thing? But his inside is actually, it matures as an adult, etc. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, could very well be.
I think for the most part, they're just going to do whatever they want to do with that character because they can explain it all away based on whatever physiology the Yoda species has, how they develop. I mean, it's completely... I think that it's just going to be completely up in the air, and we're going to be seeing things that like, oh, it doesn't make any sense, but it's a baby. But is it really a baby if it's lived for 50 years? Who the fuck knows?
Okay, well, a couple of things I want to ask you boys because you guys are smart. One, do you think he's going to turn the baby in? Because in the future, so we see some pictures, we see him with all this new shiny silver armor that he got, obviously made out of that. That's the steel, the Mandalorian steel, the Beskar. So he had to acquire it somehow. So do you think he turns the baby in? What do you guys think?
I don't think so. I think with already we're 2 episodes in and it's only been barely over an hour. I think for them to kind of now switch gears midway through, 2/3 of the way through, whatever you want to call it. I mean, a quarter of the way through, doesn't make any sense. I think he's gonna keep the Baby Yoda, not turn him in, probably turn on, all those, if we want to call those Imperial remnants, and then probably just snag the Beskar from them.
He's a man of honor. He's a man who appreciates.
He seems like it, yeah.
Right. He has a moral and ethic code. Granted, he's a bounty hunter and he kills people, but he cares about his people, the Mandalorians. Or else he wouldn't have given all that Beskar, whatever was left over, to the foundlings, right?
Yep.
So here's the dilemma: does he turn in Baby Yoda, who saved his life and is a foundling or an orphan, and get the Beskar so he can help the Mandalorian people and the foundlings even more, his own people? Or does he not turn in the Yoda, the Baby Yoda, doesn't help his own people, doesn't get the Beskar, catches heat from the Bounty Guild guys because he outed a couple other bounty hunters who were trying to steal his bounties, So I don't know. The plot thickens. And another thing, IG-11 wasn't in this episode. He might be out. And someone said something in a review show. Who laid the other bounty? They were thinking it's the other Moff, Gideon, who's played by the guy from Do the Right Thing. What's his name?
Radio Raheem?
Yeah. No. Esposito, yeah. So maybe he's the one who laid the bounty with IG-11. Well, I was like, oh, I didn't even think of that. That's pretty clever.
Man.
The sects fighting for all the crumbs, all the different sects of the Imperial remnants. So that's that.
Well, a few things real quick. I'll throw them up there quick. The way I think it's gonna go down with the bounty hunter, the Mandalorian is. I think he will turn in Baby Yoda, but then before he leaves, he's gonna find out that they're gonna probably dissect him or some shit, and he's gonna go in there on a suicide mission, take everybody out, and fucking save him. As far as who might have, laid out that other bounty, it could be him, but I feel like he would have laid out the bounty for somebody else, for somebody bigger, because if he's a Moff, the Empire at this point is fucking done. So if he's a Moff, he's probably a former Moff who's working for somebody. Who knows, man? I don't know.
That's a good point. He could be working for a Hut. He could be working for anybody.
Shout out to the best Moff in the business, Danny Moff, who just signed a contract with Ring of Honor.
I was just thinking about that too. It's funny. So yeah, shout out to my boy Moff, dude. Good stuff. So here we are, boys. We're at the end of the episode. He takes off. Where do you think they're gonna go from here? Any clue? Because I have none. About the show, that is.
I think Spiro's right on track. I think he's gonna head back over there, decide what he's gonna want to do. He may seek counsel with another of the Mandalorians on that planet just to speak to them to see what they think. But I think exactly what Spiro said is going to happen. He's going to give him back and then realize that they're probably going to torture him and then do the Suicide Squad mission and break him back out.
So, okay.
And that's how he gets the Beskar, because he gets the Beskar, then he gets the bounty.
Interesting.
You know what? I could see him like maybe like towards the end of the season, and quite possibly at the end of it, the last episode after this big fucking battle, stumbles upon a fucking vault loaded with that shit, and he goes and he turns in a bunch of it, and he saves just enough to remake his armor and shit,
Couple things. Do you think he's gonna get a jetpack?
He should.
I was thinking about it during this episode when he was doing the whole Sandcrawler thing. I'm like, where's this fucking jetpack?
You don't got one.
What if he gets one like this? What if he comes across some old hermit in the desert who just so happens to have one, and by the end of that episode,
hello there,
a Boba Fett.
Where?
Fett. That's
Boba Fett. Where?
I don't know.
We also didn't mention the video that was from Den of Nerds, where he spoke about the fact that during the flashback scenes of him as a child, that would, if you look at the time frame, put him at about the Clone Wars time. So there's talk that we may be seeing a certain Jedi pop up that was a hermit at some point, maybe two, that was a hermit at some point, that may be the one to save him on Mandalore. Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I mean, listen, man, he does have ties to Mandalore.
Yeah. And it would be an easy shoehorn just to bring in him for one episode to tease the whole new Obi-Wan series. Throw him in there for like a split second, saving him, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. He does the job. He's out. And that would be a fan service right there.
Question.
By the way, you guys know that allegedly his real name has leaked out on the internet, right?
Yeah.
I heard that. I didn't hear what it was, but
you want me to say it?
Not really.
Yeah, I mean,
It's nothing. It's a name that's not even going to ring any bells.
It's not even known and shit.
Benjamin Bernstein.
How did you fucking know? You're like on fire today.
It's the midichlorians.
You're the man, dude. You're the man.
I'm the Mandalorian.
All right, you just lost all your stock value right now. So where are we at with everything, boys? We I think that I agree. I don't know where they're gonna go. What?
I had an idea as well before. So imagine, right? So we have Spiro set up where he drops the Yoda off, gets second thoughts of it, frees the Yoda, and now he's getting chased by whatever bounties that are put on him now. So the tables are turned. He defeats all the comers that come up to him. The last episode, maybe Giancarlo Esposito goes to the person that he knows is going to be the best to actually defeat him. And who is it?
Boba.
Like
pop.
Huge. Season 2. Boom. There you go.
That would be sick, man. I got a question. Do you guys see this as a possibility? The purpose of the Mandalorian is to bring Mandalore back to the glory, and they're gonna make a major comeback.
I hope so. That'd be dope.
And then they would have to explain their absence from the last 2 films, and I don't know.
Well, the Purge, the Purge of Mandalore. If it's taking place during the Clone Wars, and that's when the Separatists came in and started destroying Mandalore, or the Empire came in and destroyed Mandalore. There you go.
No, but I'm saying their absence from episode 7 and 8.
But if they've been purged, from 7 and 8.
Yeah, from the new trilogy. Well, listen, maybe they separated out and they were done. They didn't want to deal with any more bullshit. They changed their ways. Who knows?
No, actually, the timeline. I retract what I just said. The timeline doesn't make any sense. That Mandalorian purge would have to take place in the initial trilogy, because in Rebels, Bo-Katan was left with the Darksaber by the end of Rebels when Sabrine gave her the Darksaber. So, and Mandalore was fine right before episode 4. So then the Empire must have come in afterwards and done the purge during the time of the OG trilogy. So who knows?
So according to canon now, where is the Darksaber now?
No one knows. Last seen with Bo-Katan at the Rebels. Maybe it'll pop up during I could definitely see it popping up during the.
Has to, man.
Oh, it'd be so dope.
Oh yeah.
That'd be so dope.
I want to see that shit light up in live action.
Oh yeah, nice black saber.
Shit, imagine that.
You guys love them black sabers.
Oh yeah.
You have 2 faces. Oh, nice black saber.
And it's funny because as I said it, I looked at you and I went, we just set up a softball of him.
Oh shit.
Boom. Now batting, Derek Jeter.
One thing we didn't talk about the first episode of Mandalorian, which I thought was hilarious, is the Galactic Uber, where Long Snout Rini, whatever it is, he plays his little fucking ocarina of time, and all of a sudden his Uber rolls up from the thing over there. I thought that was hilarious.
Absolutely, I thought it was very well done. You guys liked the episode. You guys liked the series, right?
Yeah, totally. Man, of course.
I'm on board 100%.
All right, name me one thing you don't like and one thing you expect from the episode 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
I thought the scene in the first episode where he's got to break in the beast, and meanwhile, when they went on the beast, there was nothing that he couldn't have dealt with when he was there. They should have showed something that the beast needed to overcome, that he needed the beast to travel to get to where he's got to get, because they really didn't show anything fantastic.
Okay.
Where I want to see it go, I want to see him on the run. I want to see him with his back to the wall with nobody to rely on.
He'll be someone get on the ship and he'll be like, "Get off my plane." Spiro?
Honestly, man, I can't think of much that I don't like, man. I'm a fan. I'm on board. I'm expecting a misstep or two, but hey, man, you know.
Okay. Well, I personally love the whole thing from start to finish. The only thing I didn't like in the last two episodes was two little beats. Once when they're in the crawler and he's like, I shouldn't be trading with you guys. Those are my parts. And he hits his head when he hit a bump or something like that because he's bigger than the Jawas. I felt that scene was like, unnecessary.
That's the Marvel.
Um,
That's the Marvel humor. The creepy
Yeah.
in
yeah,
there.
yeah. And then the second thing I didn't really like I said earlier on in this episode, was just the time frame of them fixing the ship. You know what I mean? It made it seem like they fixed it in a few hours as opposed
Yeah.
to a long amount of time. I wish
Yeah.
they executed that a little better.
And that thing was jacked.
Yeah, that shit was stripped, dude. Um, Other than that, I like everything. I like the way it's going. I think it's a great series so far, and it's only going to get better. They're already filming season 2 right now as we speak, so we're good to go. And it would be dope if we get to see Obi-Wan make a cameo on one of the flashbacks. I'd love to see the Ugnaught eventually joining him and becoming like his first mate. I think they have good chemistry together. And then I'd like to see if IG-11 comes back or someone else reprograms him and he gets pissed and goes after him for shooting him in the head or wherever he
He
shot
has
him.
to come back, you know?
Who knows, man?
Because,
Everything.
there's a lot of promotional things
a
out there.
lot of merch.
Yeah. So we'll see, yeah.
There was a lot of merch with Holdo on it too. And Rose Tico. Look what happened. Who knows?
He can't be the Shockmaster.
That'd be dope. Anyway, let them know where they can find you guys at.
You can find me at Instagram, Dr. _Destroyer, DESTRROYO. Facebook, Alex Arroyo. Twitter, Alex Arroyo MD.
You can find me on Instagram, Darth_Spiridon, Handsome Reaper on Twitter. My email, handsomereaper@gmail.com.
You can find me at Greek God Papa on Twitter, Greek God Papa on Instagram, Demetrius Papa on Facebook. Greek God Papa is the YouTube channel. And you can go to Pro Wrestling Tees and buy a t-shirt of Greek God Papa. That's Pro Wrestling Tees / Greek God Papa. We have the new Conspiracy Horseman t-shirt up on my store, which is an homage to the Days of Future Past cover. You can find the three of
dope shirt.
Thank you. You can find the three of us Tuesday night doing our episode of the New Force Order. It should be episode 37 if my math is correct. We're gonna bring you another exciting episode full of tidbits and news and who's moreover and Tatooine and all that great stuff. But you can find us at @NFO_podcast on Twitter, New Force Order on the Instagram, official New Force Order on Facebook. You can like us, our page, subscribe to it, hit the notification button on YouTube. It's New Force Order. And you can email us at newforceorder@yahoo.com. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for giving us your time and your ears. This is another exciting episode of MANDOMANIA, brother. It's running wild. So what you gonna do when the Mandalorian's coming for his next bounty, and the next bounty is you?